and you can listen to us on the go via our website, wfm917.com. Also, the phone lines will be open shortly, but in the meantime, you can send your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your reactions, your contributions, your comments to 0703 1756 537 and 08155 917 917. My name is Fumila, and I'm not here alone. I have
Hassane Metula. Good morning.
Good morning, Nima. How are you? Happy New Month. I didn't say that. Oh my gosh, Happy New Month. Today is the first day of the second half of the year, the first day of July 2026. Wow, wow, wow. So happy New Month to you. We hope that this year, the rest of the year and this month brings all that you have prayed for, all that you are hoping for in this new month and in this new second half of the year. And like I typically say, if from the beginning of the year you haven't been doing what you're supposed to do, your goals that you put on the wall, maybe you didn't even get into the year with a New Year's resolution, I want to implore you and beg you and plead with you that today's a good day to start. Today's a good day to put all those goals and dreams and those ideas, put them to paper. Let's see execution. Let's see execution. Okay, let's get on to it. This is starting off with the Punch newspaper this morning. Xenophobia, Nigerian embassy packed 269 return as South Africa protests rise. I saw some videos yesterday and I was just like, we cannot possibly be serious in this Africa. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We have our analyst here with us and we'll get into it. Flood waters submerge homes, disrupt power supply in Lagos. This has been since over the weekend, since Sunday, and yesterday the videos we were seeing, oh my, properties destroyed, properties, like millions of naira basically, like just gone like that with water. I don't know. I'm hoping that the government, we're always hoping they should do what they want to do at this point. Yeah, moving on to the Guardian newspaper.
Amotekun parades 28 suspect arrests father, 3 sons over alleged kidnapping in Ondo State. 2 policemen, Rivers, 85 subjects nabbed, 18 kidnapped and rescued in Delta.
Nima, we can hardly hear you. I think it's the network. Maybe you want to turn off your video so that we can hear you. But it was season. In the This Day newspaper, we have Katsina SASHIN unveiled cervical cancer screening initiative for 500 women. Also on This Day, we have federal government to scrap GSS separation policy after 20 million pupils drop out. Again, we'll get into this with our analyst this morning.
FG to demand compensation from the Daily Trust newspaper. FG to demand compensation for Nigerians abandoned businesses in South Africa. Last school parents freed victim recount ordeal.
All right. In the Vanguard newspaper, we have Borno school attack. 37 children still missing, says parents. NAFDAC raises alarm over unsafe food, pushes nationwide safety reforms.
Moving on to the Premium Times newspaper. Alleged teenager rape testify against prosecution less
Nima, you are seasoned. Maybe change your position. You are seasoned. We can hear. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Then.
Okay.
Moving on to the Premium Times newspaper. Alleged teenager rape victim to testify against their pastor. Prosecution seeks witness protection. Students protest insecurity at Federal University.
Moving on to the Nation newspaper, we have Nuhu for police officers plead not guilty in the Ogidi murder trial. Also on the Nation newspaper, we have anti-migrant rallies shut businesses in South African cities. My.
Moving on to the cable newspaper, AP Rep. Tinubu hasn't ended insecurity, but his effort would be recognized. Give criminals their proper name, says Sultan. Banditry and terrorism have no place in Islam.
All
This.
right. Daily Post. I'm smiling at that line because I remember having this particular conversation with Nima. Maybe the first day Nima came, or maybe the second day she joined us. Somebody might say, "Oh, but for me, why?" See, I like to ask questions. I'm so curious and inquisitive. If you ask my mom what my favorite question was or my favorite word was when I was growing, it was why. Why is it that? Why is it that? So I asked her maybe on her first day. I said, talk to me about this thing. And so the Sultan is saying, look, banditry and terrorism have no place in Islam. Gives criminals their proper name. And I remember asking Nima, I said, like, I said to her, I'm sure you sort of understand or you see reason as to why people are like you might say that this is not what you practice. And again, this is not even coming at Muslims or anything, but it's the same way with Christians. I say, oh, Christians they steal, they do whatever. It's the same way I would say the same thing. Do you understand? So I like that the Sultan is coming to say this because the problem why these things get propagated is because the people that are supposed to stand and say and push back don't come out to push back. And so as long as you're not having any pushback from, respected authorities or the I don't want to say influencers, those with great influence in whether in communities and cultures, religion, persons of faith, leaders of faith, we will continue to have this issue. Also, I keep making reference to an NBC conference I went to in December and how one of the journalists there had said the reason why we are having this issue is because when banditry started or when terrorism started, it was called banditry. It wasn't given. And I remember him saying, language is so important. You have to give the proper name to things or to people so that we are not hiding behind things. It's like saying someone stole. It's not saying person stole. You say, oh, he took it without permission. I don't understand. If you took it without permission, you're a thief. So I like that this is being said because let's give these crimes their proper names. Let's give these criminals the proper names. I don't want anybody saying, oh, bandits, oh, herders, herdsmen. Sheilahs and terrorists is a better way, to put it. Okay, moving on to the Daily Post. Government's borrowing is not immoral. I saw this, and he went on to say, the finance minister went on to say, we're not asking what the government is using the money for. The problem is that you think that we are blind, right? So if you say so for instance, if my mom borrowed say 10 billion naira to do something, if that thing that to say, oh, I want to better the family, we want to get a new house, we've not seen she borrowed the 10 billion naira, we've not seen the new house. She borrowed the money, our food has not changed, then it's a bit somehow to say, oh, give them. Anyway, next up is I suffered as Senate President challenging Buhari over loans. That is from Bukola Saraki. Over to you, Nima.
Moving on to the Tribune newspaper, ASU threatens strike in Oyo, Kwara over delayed implementation of agreements. Makinde makes fresh appointments, names commissioner designates.
All right. In the pen pushing finally this morning, we have court grants Shore 200 million naira bail in alleged cybercrime trial. I saw this. I saw the video of him leaving the court yesterday in his car. 53 years after establishment, Nigeria reforms. NYSC replaces the military leadership, resigns uniform. There's been so much outrage and reactions with regards to this, but Uh, yeah, we'll see. As in my head, I'm like, at no point did you guys talk about the state of insecurity, sending young people to states like Borno, Kwara, Benue, states that are rife with terrorism and insecurity, but you are revamping it and you're still going to send them there. Do you know what? Like they always say, if they explain Nigeria to you and you understand it, and it means that the job wasn't well done. So that's it. In that vein, I'm just going to welcome
You know
our.
the funny thing,
Yeah, go ahead.
Anani. You know the funny thing about this NYC revamp?
What is
So
it?
since yesterday, even till now, my friends have been sending so many messages to me. Nima, you're going to camp for 6 weeks. Nima, you're going and I'm like, let me rest because every other person till now went to camp for just 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's like, Nima, you're going to camp for 6 weeks. So how would you cope? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'll push. I'm Nigerian after all.
Oh, God, it is well with us. That's all I'm going to say. It is absolutely, absolutely well with us. Okay, let's get into it. Good morning, Buki, Femi Ajala. How are you? Happy new month to you.
Yes, happy new month to all of us. All of us. We made it. We made it. We
We
made it. So
did.
it's
What are your hopes
half
for
of
the
the
half of the
year.
year?
Half of the year is gone. Yeah. Well, yeah. For me, you know, my disposition is, well, yes, let's do a review.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things actually set out to do? Did
Mm-hmm.
I achieve them?
Mm-hmm.
The ones I achieved, I will celebrate myself.
Mm-hmm.
The ones I did not achieve, yes, I will sit back and talk to the man in the mirror. Why didn't you achieve this?
Mm-hmm.
Analyze it. Was I lazy? What were the issues that did not make me? I've got the glory for that. But yes, but most importantly,
Mm-hmm.
we do not celebrate ourselves. But we look at the other things that, oh, I've not achieved this, I've not done this. Do not beat yourself. That is the time that you're supposed to say, okay, really, what happened? Be honest about it. And then make adjustments, address it
Mm-hmm.
where you need to seek support. Yes, where you need to build relationships, where you need to work on your networks, where you need to get up and stop being lazy. Just get up and do the things. And above all, just trust God, because everything about your life, God knows it. You understand? So you just have to trust God for this. So once again, I want to say happy new month to everybody. Nima, how are you? And then of course, and of course, our news review family. You think I've
Yes.
forgotten you? No, 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 no. I know fit, But meanwhile, is my voice audible? Because I
Yes,
realized that the network today is friendly.
Yes.
Don't let me say the
we
negative.
can
So
hear
I have to be
you.
using two devices. All right, that's fine.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Mm.
I was saying earlier when you were speaking, I said I think I'm going to follow suit and just do a review for myself. How the last 6 months has gone. If I was to give myself a score on live radio, if I was going to give myself a score on my first half of the year, I would say maybe a good six
50,
and a half, maybe 7.
6
And
and
the
a half.
reason, say that again.
Yeah.
And
I
the
said
reason
6 and a half. Yeah, that's good.
that's
That's
a
good.
good, yeah. And the reason for that is not even happened in the month of June. That's the reason I'm ending. I feel like I'm ending June with. I ended the first half in a big way. January was really really chill for me. February, same. By February, I started preparing for my birthday. That was in March. So March was a good month for me because it was a milestone age and I was excited about it. I made some decisions in the month of March into April. I think when I went on holiday, yeah, as well. Did I now follow through on them in April and May? No, I didn't. But by the end of May, I joined a school. It's called the School of Hard Doing Hard Things, and the month of June really stretched me, stretched my thinking, made me look myself in the eye and ask questions, consolidated things that I hadn't. I don't like to ask questions. I don't like myself. I like to ask myself. I like to ask people questions. I don't like to ask myself questions because you have to think and ask yourself, why are you behaving this way? Why haven't you done this? And then you realize, well, it's not the village people. You yourself, you're the one that hasn't been doing those things. So I would say the reason I'm giving myself the 6.5, 7 is because of the decision to join this school in the month of June. And then I had my class on on Friday, and I'm literally reaping the benefits of it. I'm doing the things I said I was going to do, right? And that's just been, so I'm excited for the next half of the year. I'm actually really, really excited. My brain is thinking more things, right? Some things that I haven't done yet, because I'm like, how do I, because you have to look at, okay, the person I want to approach, one, but based off of the month of June, if not because of the school I attended, I probably would have given myself maybe 5, maybe 4.5 or 5. But based off of that, I feel like I ended the first half of the year.
Yeah.
And
let me tell you this. Now that you now know the formula, you know what makes success for you.
Yeah.
It's basic. You continue.
Yes.
Many times we don't know our formula success.
Yes.
We need to find our formula success. And that means, what is success to you? Your own success might not be my own success. So it's an issue of what is success to me, and then what is the formula of my own success. And then I have to get going. Action. If you had said, okay, I registered and didn't attend the school, you will come back and tell us.
Yeah, or if I dropped out, because quite a few people dropped out. Yes.
So those are tips for us. Yeah. So, but we're fine.
Yes. Well done. Anybody listening to us right now, you know that we will always come correct and serve you good meals, right? So just in case, I know that this is the daily news review, but just before we get into, just in case you're wondering, I've shared a little bit. Buki has also shared a little bit. Please do the work. It's hard. I promise you, it's hard, but it's rewarding at the end of the day. Okay, let's get into it. Oh my gosh, things are happening. Things that happened between maybe Sunday, Monday, they've been a lot. And first on the list is this xenophobic. Oh my gosh, like there's been so much headlines. I've been watching, and here's the thing, I've been watching the videos, and when it gets too much, I just turn it off. So ever since yesterday, I was like, I can't do this, because when I went to Rwanda, I remember one of the places that they took us into was the genocide memorial.
Genocide memorial place, yeah.
Yes. And that place, I still remember the anger I felt when I left the place. One of my friends traveled to Rwanda last month as well for her birthday trip. And she went there and she was like, oh, she was crying. And when she was talking about it, I was like, I don't remember. I didn't cry. I was angry. And what I'm seeing now is a mirror of what happened in Rwanda. Because what happened, for those that don't know, is that right now they don't have tribes. It's like how Nigeria, we say we don't have tribes and it's just Nigeria. They don't have tribes at all. And luckily for them is because they don't have so many languages. So they have one language they speak, and they don't really speak English in Rwanda. That their language, and I think French. But then they had tribes, the Hutus and the Tutsis, and over time, of course, with great influence from the West, I think it was the Hutus decided that they were superior to the Tutsis, and then they decided to eliminate, that's the only word to use that is seemingly right, eliminate a whole tribe from the country. Some people ran off, some people were killed, but by 1994, I think about 1 million, is it 1 million or 5 million? 1 million Rwandans were killed in one of the largest genocides that the world has seen, besides the genocide not Israel, the Jewish massacre, the genocide.
The Nazi camps.
The Nazi camp, yes. Besides that, but this was not like at our doorstep. Now, if you've been watching what's happening in South Africa, it is no different to what happened with the Germans killing the Jews, killing some Europeans, people in their peripheral. Is no different to what happened in Rwanda as well. Now, South Africans are saying we don't want Black people, we don't want our fellow Africans. Now, the gag is, what's interesting is that, but there are white foreigners that are there that are not being chased. When Bob Marley sang "Emancipate Yourself from Modern Slavery," this is what he was talking about. And now Nigeria thankfully had started saying, okay, we're going to bring them back home, this and this and that. It was the vim was a lot, the enthusiasm was a lot. They brought the first flight was 278 Nigerians. They brought by the next one in June 15. The deadline went, they couldn't bring anybody, didn't bring anybody. And I was like, Nigeria, please don't disgrace me now, please. You guys started well with a lot of fire. And then 71 people were brought. Now 269. Yesterday was the deadline. 30th of June was the deadline to say, oh yeah, you should go. Some South Africans argue that is undocumented, that's illegal immigrants, but we're seeing that they're not targeting illegal immigrants. And if we really look at it, the whole world has illegal immigrants. Right, so they're saying, oh, the reason why there's crime in their country is as a result of illegal immigrants. The reason why there's a rise in drugs is because of these black Africans, people from Zimbabwe, from Malawi, from Ghana, from Nigeria, who are in their country. And we know that that's far from the truth. We're not trying to posture and say that Nigerians are good, because we know that we said we have bad behavior, but there's bad behavior everywhere, right? And this is just, I don't know. The Nigerian government has now said they're going to sanction South African companies that are resident in Nigeria. They're going to shut them down as a form of retaliation. I think for me, what's worrisome is the leaders. Of course, President Ramaphosa has been trying to do one thing, but we're not seeing him stand on business like the kids will say. But yeah, Buki, you're here. This is so sad that Africa is experiencing this. This is not a Nigerian problem. This is an African problem. This is not a Ghanaian problem. It's an African problem that your fellow, like same color, same skin color, like you have a problem with me. And if you really, really look at it and think deeply, you realize that whoever is sponsoring this agenda knows what they're doing, because even in our own Nigeria, we have tribalism rife in the country. So it's like the small tribalisms that we're seeing, they're not small. The tribalisms that we're seeing in countries, in individual countries, we've now seen it morph into something, a huge monster such as this. Buki, over to you. The floor is yours.
Well, okay, it is well. We'll trust God to dissect this, to actually know what the problem is, and we trust God that we will be able to find a lasting solution where peace will reign in Africa. I believe that what is happening to us in Africa, where tribes go against tribes, which we are experiencing now in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It has been with us. I mean, let's face it. I mean, when you go into the history, well, this tribe will get up to say they want to overcome this tribe and bring them up with slaves. Even with the colonialism and our education, the people who came to colonize us in Africa also studied us, and they saw that, is a seed that is there. And they capitalized on it. And that, where you came from Rwanda, where I talked about the Hutu and the Tutsis, the Tutsis, they were small. Their population was less than maybe 15% or something. But it was the Hutu that, But meanwhile, because before colonialism, was the Tutsis that were reigning, that were ruling. And then, of course, the people who colonized them came in and saw that. And so they had more superior positions, and things like that. And of course, the Hutu that they say, our no poor, we are plenty now. Why all this? So that's that. But I'm happy with what has happened in Rwanda, where the political will. Yes, people will say the man there, what's his name now, is autocratic, but is benevolent.
Yes.
You understand? He's benevolent. It's not like Idi and me that was autocratic, but was not a benevolent, but was a wicked ruler. That he was able to put things in place that you say, oh, there is no Hutu, there is no Tutsi here. Where are you from? You are from Rwanda. You understand? And then, of course, the things that he did in terms of development. But let's talk about xenophobia. I like where you started that. It's not about South Africa. For me, is let's even go deeper. Let's not stay on the surface. Am I happy that they're doing this to us? No, because it looks as if most of the people there now, because apartheid ended in 1994. That's about 32 years ago. And it's possible that the majority of the people that are forming all these gangs, the March, the what's the name of the other person, Zubebe or something like that. I don't know their ages, but possibly in terms of history, they don't know, because they are supposed to be good to us in Nigeria, because we know what Nigeria did for apartheid. Even Africa, did for apartheid. Apartheid was a political party that was there for almost 40 something years. So the slavery mentality is still there.
Yeah.
And that is why they are feeling that these people, you came, now they're not talking to Africans. You came and you took our jobs, you took our husbands, and things like that. So that is xenophobia, when you hate people from other countries. So it's not just about Nigeria, but let's look at it. I think this thing is far more than what we say. I see economic frustration, though it might be a joke, but I saw one that said Nigerians they came to carry their husbands or their
women,
wives.
yeah,
They are
like so.
women, they are women. It was their women, So they are not looking. The people are not marrying them. You understand? I mean, it might be funny, but hey, there's a bit of anger and frustration, particularly economic frustration, because if we look at Nigerians in terms of businesses, the shops, they're traders. They go there, they do good business. You understand? And then, of course, it also talks about political failure. Let's face it. Then weak immigration management, because I was reading in the document you sent that they're even saying, in terms of renewal of visas, the business permit, the work permit.
They're not renewing, yeah.
Yes, it's very, very slow. So most of them, they're going about with expired one. And even for us in Nigeria as well, as they give them, we'll also be giving ourselves. That even it's just one consulate they have there. So people will have to travel from all the provinces. And at times, it's 3,000 rupees or something like that. It's expensive.
Yeah.
That can they begin to do this digital thing? So while we are talking about what are you doing, well, let us also look at the issues on ground, to solve, apart from the diplomatic relationship, that they need to go back and strengthen. Something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
But beyond that, they're also talking about organized crime concerns. You said there is no country that you don't have bad elements. So because they arrested one or two Nigerians, right? I mean, I just use one or two Nigerians, for my analysis. Does that mean that all Nigerians are bad? No, it's not. And then, of course, misinformation. Somebody who did not go to school, somebody who does not have capacity, right? And you are for a job with someone who has capacity. Obviously, the person who has the job is not there for charity. It will pick the one that has capacity. But meanwhile, because you have been misinformed, all these Africans, they have come, they are the ones taking our job. They're supposed to give me. Meanwhile, the person is looking for what capacity. So we're talking about Nigeria. Well, yes, Nigeria, but other African countries too are involved in this. But let us focus on our own focus, which is Nigeria. At least I'm happy that I think on the database now we have over 1,000, more than 1,000, that have signed up, to be evacuated. And we need to celebrate the airlines, Air Peace, Value Jet, that are doing an amazing job. We need to celebrate them. Thank you so much for bringing our people there. But let me say one thing so that people will get things clearly. If at all xenophobia is happening, most of it, at least the screams that I am saying, is for illegal migrants, those who do not have papers.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, yes.
Yes. But you see, I am still thinking about it. That when you say somebody is illegal migrant in that place, did they crawl under a wall, or did they jump a wall, or did they go across the sea like like other countries? They must have entered the borders. They must have entered the borders. So does that mean their own borders are porous or what?
Okay, that's
Or
another.
you understand? Or could it be the main issue we discussed? Their immigration policies, procedures, right? Or is it that the children that were born to those legally migrants have not been processed? You know, these are things that are bothering my head. That when you say illegal, you understand how did they walk through? I mean, like we know in Nigeria, we have borders that there are no gates, just enter. You know, but these are things that they also need to begin to check, even in South Africa. But beyond that, like I said, it talks about economic frustration. We all need to know that for South Africa, there is massive unemployment. It's not just Nigeria.
Yeah.
You understand? And then the slow economic growth that we have there. And then, of course, the competition in the informal businesses. You know, Nigerians, I'm talking about Nigerians, and I know Africans as well, but Nigerians, we know we do a whole lot of that. You know, we are the ones, when we go into a new country, it is easy for us to start grocery stores, salon, restaurant, repair shops, you know. Just came and carried our jobs and things like that, and we are not getting jobs. We are not, so that could be it as well. And then, of course, in terms of the week, which I've talked about, the weak immigration control, and then, so why are they targeting Nigerians? It's very easy. Nigerians are highly visible, and you would know now when you see Nigeria, the way, you know, even when you go abroad, when you enter a store, you say, Nigeria and store you. And then by the time you say, are you in Nigeria? They will tell you, yes, so Nigeria. You understand? So you will know God has blessed us with that character, attitude, that anywhere we are, except if you are lazy, you will flourish. You understand? And then, yes, Nigerians, one or two of them have been involved in crimes and things like that. But like we mentioned earlier, that does not mean all Nigerians. You know, I have two people that are staying in South Africa and they're doing well. One is a lecturer. The other one, I think, has a business, shipping business and things like that. You know, I was going to say I'm going to call him to even find out how he's here and all that. You know, so they've done good businesses. And then in terms of culture, Nigerians, you know, in terms of our culture, Nollywood, you know, things like that, we are thriving. And that's why the target is so much on us, that our government now really needs, you know, to do something.
Right.
Because if you look at the attacks, it has been on in the 2000s, 2015, 2019, you know, it's just going on. So what is the way forward for Nigeria now? Number one, I like what they are doing. Come back home. But then we also have to sit back. The people in Nigeria, most of them to no get job to do. Families, you know, are complaining. Now, when you now have extra hands, maybe, yes, they can have access to their accounts and things like that, but it might take a while. But for them to be relocated, I know Governor Uzodinma gave 1 million to the people in his own state, but let's look at it. Is that enough? But it's still something. At least we enter somebody's house. At least you will drop some money for the person to, because you don't even know how that person has been living. And even if they say, okay, let's go to one hotel, at least for 1 week to even get themselves together, they have to pay and all that. Where am I going is that as we are bringing these people back, the Nigerian government or the state government will have to really, really see to their settling in. That's the truth. If not, it's going to add, to the issues we
Yeah.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So I just needed to say that. But beyond that, Nigeria should have to sit back with South Africa. They need to talk this thing matter again, because apart from the diplomatic relations we have, they also need to look at this issue. Who are they calling these illegal migrants? How did they come to be?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They really have to. And then, of course, they have to demand accountability from South Africa. Right? Yes. You mentioned that Ramaphosa had said one or two things. But hey, I think he should do more. It's not just a matter of assure Nigerians that we are good to go.
We don't want assurance.
And all that. You understand?
Yeah.
Action. You understand? Yes, I know he has put police people here and there, but what is he doing concerning these anti-migrant
Yep.
forces? You understand? Because it looks as if they are very strong. So for me, that's what I'm looking at. And then strengthen intelligence, which they have to do security-wise. And then, of course, we also have to talk to ourselves. What are we also doing to our own people, such that our own people will not want to go out of the country? We keep saying these things. Make Nigeria a place where Nigerians will stay and want to work.
I don't know when that one will happen, no, because we're all in this Nigeria together. And like I said at the beginning, everybody's trying to figure out their countries. Everybody's trying to make their countries work. And I don't think, one of the things that they kept on saying, they were chanting in South Africa, is go and fix your country. When Nigeria was good, people were still traveling out. Like, we have Nigerians who have been in different countries since like the 60s, the 50s, the early 40s, because it was more like, it was not a case of my country is bad. It was, I'm going here to go and work or to get better experiences and things like that. So when you say, Nigerians are coming to your country because their country is bad, well, on one hand, yes, but there are also some South Africans who have been there for years and years. So maybe you went there for work and you're like, this is a nice country to be in, and then you stayed, not necessarily because you left your country with the intention to leave. There's some people who have who have moved to countries for work. What do you say about those? Because those countries need you. They ask for you to come. So it's a bit foolhardy to think in that manner. And I think there was something that you said, I don't recall. When it comes back to me, I remember. But one thing that you said about what are the plans to give them soft landing, very, very important. Very important, because there's soft landing for them. There are some of them who have been there since how long? And they don't even know how to behave, when they come back. Now that they're back in Nigeria, some that have been there for 10 years, 5 years, even if it is 6 months, your mindset has changed for that 6 months. So coming back here, like, we have people who go to the West, who go abroad for a holiday, and they come back and they're like, oh my God, Nigeria is so hard. They say one thing or the other. How much more people who have been there for so long, or how much more those who, them and their children, are being chased away from the country. Like, you say, they're taking your wives, but anybody can fall in love with anybody, to be honest, and then get married. Anybody can decide to get married to anybody. They're adults. They can be in a position, and then they have children, and then those children already are going through trauma of being called, despicable names, derogatory terms, because they had just happened to be half Nigerian and half South African. I don't even want that. Like, it sounds like we're back in, when you watch, I say we are back. I've watched a lot of slave trade movies to understand that this is not normal. And is it possible that South Africans themselves, they like their chains? It's probably why.
In fact, for me, as far as I'm concerned, honestly, like, they're not looking at the real issues. And I pray that South African government also will sit down and really understand. You see, that slave thing, that apartheid mentality is still worrying them. Let's crunch some figures. Me, I always like figures. The population of South Africa, there are 65 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whites are just 7%. Right.
And they're the
The
ones
black,
controlling things. We have to add
they are
that
the ones
one.
controlling things. They have not gone to chase the white like they are chasing. You understand what I'm saying? Because the white have always been there. They've taken, you know, security, the money, the economy, and things like that, even the lands and things like that. But I know it's much better than what it used to be during the apartheid, whatever. But you see, mindset is strong. Shabi, we said that apartheid finished 32 years ago. So the person that was given birth to as at that time is 32 years old. And 32 years old would that is the time you want to begin to settle into things. You want to build your career. You already have a family and things like that. But you see, that mindset that your parents have given you, you know, it's still there, except you really break free from it, which I expect the Blacks that are in power now should begin to understand and begin to break those things. Why am I going this way? If the information that I saw is correct, Africans that are not South Africans that are living in South Africa, both legal and illegal, I understand they're just 3 million people. So are you telling me 3 million people are the ones that is making them not to have jobs, making them not to have wives? Do you understand what I'm saying? And when you look at even these people, are they not adding to the economy of that country? It's a pity we don't have statistics of those that are contributing to the GDP of that country. You will see that it's a whole lot, because when you go there, you see that the Nigerians are the ones that are doing grocery shops, that are opening restaurants, that are doing Uber, that, you know, a whole lot of them, because they have left their country. They know why they left their country. And so they are in a country to prosper, to make money. So, and that means they are adding value to the country. I think it's just time that South Africa, you know, we should really sit back. I don't know what the AU is doing, you know, but these are things that we now need to begin to say what exactly is our problem. Mindset, slavery mindset, which is still what is even affecting us in Nigeria here today, apart from tribalism. That slavery mindset is still in us, that we need to break free. Those who have broken free, they are doing wonderful things. They don't look at tribalism. They don't look at this. They don't look at that. They know that, yes, if you do the work, you reap it. So you will not come and say, oh, is one auntie from one village that is doing you. Meanwhile, you are lazy. You understand?
Yeah.
So those are things that I think Nigeria and South Africa should really look at, and build back our, what do you call it, our diplomatic relations, because as Africans you are supposed to, I mean, you should go to
Oh, we have a
country.
call.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Evangelist Dixon, good morning.
Good morning, Nema. And good morning, my best analyst, Madam Buki. First of all, I waited this month. I want to tell you all. Because people like you, when you listen to people like you, you hope that this one here be treated once again. And because when you analyze and you are calm and cool. You don't allow Nigeria problem to push you, whereby you be angry and come and talk, saying all this. And that's one thing. That God factor is in you. And you always mention trusting God. And maybe you, that's only we can make it. And that's what makes God good. Because whenever we want to do anything, we remember God. Everyone, God says, it's not be blessed, it's wicked. He says it's blessed. What makes you good is that God factor. And that's because you are born again. When Christ comes to you, Christ transforms you, change you, you are born again, you are born new character, new everything. You don't talk to people anyhow, you don't do anything, because you know there is somebody from you watching you, and you must go back on the ladder. Because when I do anything, I get away and I cannot get away. You can't get away from God. Always need to always learn to do the right thing. I support everything you have said 100%. I've been listening to you. Just to say, well then, even from yesterday, I cannot know these videos. What I'm trying to say, we don't generalize things. Okay, Madam Nema said they don't have. And I say we always have, like, it won't be as if say all there's no life in all Lagos. I'm not trying to. I can't do that because I see what people feel. I'm telling you, I cannot. That's what I'm like. People say flood is everywhere. In a place where there's no flood, I don't know how I would have put it that Prince will come and say wrong. He has said a lot of things here, but I just go quiet. To be silent does not mean weakness.
True.
As we that are desperate that God are using. I have so many followers. I think I reach out to a million people. Some of them will be listening. Then I'll be talking to you now. When we come back, from the God also is watching. So that's the God we should possess our vessel on holiness. We should be example anywhere the way we talk and the way we do. Because people are watching, our followers are watching us. And from the God also is watching us. That's why we do with you. People all have that kind of God and do it. Nigeria has dealt with you. I'm telling you, that's sometimes when I tell you, I can't come here and blame anybody. I do because I know what I've gone through in Nigeria. They say those who have the God fear of God. And that's the people you can trust. And that's why I always mention Brooklyn and I did too. That's when God's doing that was them. That is it, there's some other thing. So please, you learn to do what you say. You cannot come on board. The way you see things will not be the right thing. Now, when I come on board the other day, the moment you talk one thing good about Tinubu, you come and attack it. If you talk one thing bad about Obi, you come and attack it. I don't know if they don't know Tinubu, but you say things how it is. That is it. It is not that any one of them is not this. I know. We can't change it. What we cannot change, we leave it. We leave it for God. That's why God says, vengeance is mine. I will pay to everyone. That's why whatever you do, I try to look over it and move ahead. So I don't allow anything to weigh me down. You know what I'm telling you? The Bible is saying, Nigeria, the way we are, the corruption is too much among us. If you are dealing with Nigeria or anywhere, look at this guy. Some people are holding me. Go to police station to buy food. I truly ask regular to do house for you, or come and cut the mechanic, or let police. Nigerians, we need to change our way, learn to do things right. We are doing the wrong thing praying. And according to the Bible, God will not hear prayer. Like, remember, initially, this Islamic something, I have Quran. So when I try to Quran, some of them are my friends. And I told you cannot be calling Allah is God. I now know a lot. Many of them are not my friends. When you are doing something, behave somewhere. And that's why I always do what I always tell you, anytime I'm wrong, we are people, I will be the last way to talk to anybody. Please, Mr. Goli, something before I forget last time about one of his neighbors. I don't know if there's any way we can help. That's what
Yes.
we want to join. If there's any way we can help. They are not about this is a family radio. So what concern one person concern all of us. We need to hear from her. And if there's any way we can help her out, please, let's do something to your family. Thank you. God bless. God bless. And Nigeria will be great.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon. Yes, she did. I was trying to go through the right processes to make sure that it was okay to talk about it. Mrs. Oboli had called last week to tell us that the reason why she's been quiet is that a friend of hers, who's a widow, lost her house. The house was on fire, basically burned down everything, her clothes, documents, and everything. So they've been trying to raise money and raise clothes. So I think I can definitely say that now, that if you'd like to send clothes or money, please send us a message on 0703 1756 537 or 08155 917 917. It could be clothes. Please don't send clothes that I have not used in the last 10 years or clothes that are bad clothes. The kids are age 15, 13, and 11. I think she said they're tall, 2 boys and 1 girl. The girl is 15. So if you have clothes, really nice clothes, shoes as well. Did I ask for shoe sizes? I didn't. I should ask for shoe sizes. Please send them to us. Again, 0703 1756 537 or 08155 917 917 to ask us how we can help this family. Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon, for bringing that back. Okay, we have 2 messages before I hand over to Nima. Welcome home, my brothers and sisters. Wherever you go, please do not forget home. Build a legitimate and trusted structure back home that you can fall back on in case of the unfortunate. For some of them, they will have to start from scratch, while some will enjoy goodwill of the past. Olusegun Ajayi from Odolai Corridor. Additional Basu says, good morning to you in the studio. The flood that has taken over parts of Lagos and also parts of African countries and on repentant Boko Haram and bandits who continue kidnapping students in Borno and other parts of northern Nigeria. I think it's time for the National Assembly to pass a law that will compel authorities to use repentant bandits or Boko Haram bandits for farming, so that the 4 years period their behavior will be closely monitored and studied. If we continue to push them into a society like this, innocent people's lives are at risk. Imagine students are doing NECO or WAEC and they're afraid of being kidnapped. And there must be a regulation to the numbers of children you can give birth to in this country, especially in northern Nigeria, to be specific. To your first point, which is saying repentant, I think that repentant bandits or Boko Haram is a word that should be taken away from our dictionary. There's no such thing as that. They should face the full wrath of the law, period. On how many people you can give birth, I think it happened in, was it Japan or Korea or South Korea that happened in, just to make sure that the economy could balance out. Oh well. Oh my gosh, we are running out of time. Nima.
Hi for me. Hear me?
I'm just going to quickly do it. Buki, I think we'll also talk about it on her lens this morning, but what are your thoughts on the scrapping of GSS SS that the Ministry of Education is bringing on?
Okay, these are my thoughts. I'm still trying to understand why. Yeah, they mentioned that. Oh, there's a feedback somewhere.
Yes.
It can't be from my end.
I think it is from your end, because you have two devices.
Okay, let me get out of one. I should be able to do this within 1 second. Okay, I think I'm out of it. Yeah. Okay. All right, fantastic. Yeah, I've been trying to find out why. Though the reason they gave is the fact that 20 million children are out between the primary and talking about the junior secondary school. So by the time they get to senior secondary school, I mean, they only have about 4 million. They start with 24 in the primary school. However, I looked at some figures. They have 80,000 primary school. And they have 15,000 junior secondary school. So in terms of infrastructure, there's a problem. You release
that was I put it as okay.
Which they go through GSS. In GSS, they'll be introduced to handwork, woodwork. They go through GSS. In GSS, they'll be introduced to handwork, woodwork, art, craft, and things like that. So the person who is handy, that God has given gift to, you go to the technical colleges. But the ones that want to pursue engineering, pursue medicine and all that, you continue with your SS. The question then is, where are the technical colleges to absorb these people? I can't see any. The idea of the GSS and the SS for me looks good, but the implementation was a problem. Now they are coming back to say, okay, just move from GSS to SS, right? It's okay if that is what they want. They are the one looking at the figures. We're only here to review what they have done. It's okay, but if they still have this 80,000 public school as against 15,000 junior secondary school, you have not solved the problem. Anywhere there is a primary school, they should make it a priority. Anywhere you cite a public primary school, you should cite a public secondary school. You should make it a standard thing so that you are sure that the 80,000 people, and why am I saying 80,000? 24 million students, right? At least 23 will move into secondary school. But if you have that deficit of schools, school building, then you have not solved the problem. You have not solved the problem. So they need to look at that as well as other things. This is where you need more people into education, trained people, because what they are doing now is that they are making the private school thrive. Because the capacity of the junior secondary school is limited. You're talking about 15,000 schools. So the next, that's why you see that somebody will just turn one building into secondary school. and be offering it. Is that what we want?
All
Is that
right.
what we want in Nigeria? We should begin to look at the future. Thank you.
Alrighty. We are just gonna like put a pause on that one and continue the conversation by 9:05 on Her Lens this morning. Many thanks to Buki Femi for speaking with us this morning and coming correct, like the kids will say. See you at 9:05, Buki. Is our long morning today. With that being said, 9 o'clock is the news. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to every single message and the call that we received this morning. Bye for now.